Hey, welcome back to Inspire at Random. In this video, it's a long overdue video. In this video, I want to help anyone who is suffering from shingles or chickenpox that is caused by the same virus to cope with it in more natural ways. And I want to share with you what worked well for me, what worked best. Okay, and the good news is it's not drugs. So I'm going to give you like some natural remedies that worked very well for me. And I've been actually struggling with shingles for the past 9 weeks. It was supposed to have gone a lot quicker than that, but unfortunately I had antagonized it in some ways. So I will basically share with you the do's and don'ts which took particular effect for me, and I hope to be able to help your shingles time go away and come to pass a lot sooner. I'll also be covering like how to deal with neuralgia. Neuralgia is one of the biggest problems that a lot of shingles sufferers will say that they experience, that is possibly more irritating than the rash itself. I had chickenpox first when I was 11 years old, so as a child. And recently, about 2 months and a bit ago, it started out as some rash on my back. I initially thought it was a dust mite problem on my sofa. As you know, I sleep on the couch a lot, actually almost exclusively. I even went on to buy some dust mite treatment devices, special vacuums, UV lights, steamers, and so on for my sofa. And after a while, I realized that it wasn't about the dust mite issue, although it could have antagonized the condition. And there was this one day which I went out drinking with a friend and we had way too many beers, and the next day, apart from the hangover, this flare was also bad. So initially, all right, I even recorded a previous take of this video. I recorded how hot baths helped out alleviate, all right, but I want to share with you today instead that hot baths do not alleviate, do not do any benefit for shingles or chickenpox at all. It feels better at that time because the heat, if you, like what I used to do back then was to, I used, for the shower head, I would turn the water flow to a minimum, and I'll turn the heater to a maximum, and as it goes over those lesions on the skin, it's very relieving. But what I found out later on that I was really doing, I was just burning out the nerve endings. And in fact, almost every time when I did that, there will be more flare-ups along the way. So this was my original spot, all right? This was my original spot. Like Chinese, they will call it the head of the snake. But actually, this thing is just a myth. I want to dispel that myth right here as well. They talk about the snake head. You got to catch the snake head. You could burn it with joss sticks and stuff. This is all hogwash, okay? So this virus resides within the nerves, and basically it's kind of like resident. Antagonistic conditions cause a flare-up, and especially if you're having too much stress or you're having too little sleep, toxic substances like alcohol is very bad for your body. If you take it in large amounts, like for example, I'm not a regular drinker, and there was this one day that me and a good buddy, we were like just having lots of beers, and then I paid the price for it. I want to share with you that stay off. Like if you're having shingles, you definitely want to cut alcohol. So I've been alcohol free for like 2 months plus right now. And what it did for me is that I feel a lot younger, a lot fresher, and my concentration is great. On top of that, I aged backwards a lot, and I got a lot more sleep. We're gonna kind of go into the remedies. So I already told you about the hot showers. No. If you feel itch, what is the best thing to do? If you feel any itches, right? Apple cider vinegar. I know it stinks like hell, but this by far is the best remedy that I want to share with you today. You can also use it in combination with zeolite. So zeolite is it's like a volcanic extract, all right? And you do not need to get the ingestible version because this is basically going to be applied. You can get ingestible version if you also want to take it with your usual fruit juices and water. But otherwise, you can even use like the ones that are for gardening purpose or general purpose zeolite, because it's going to be for external application only. I did try Calamine Lotion before, but I did not find Calamine to be any more effective than this, because Calamine is like basically rust water. Although it does help to dry up the lesions on the skin, it does not actually kill the bacteria within them, and on those areas that when I initially had a very bad flare-up in the initial phase, I treated it with calamine and it made the skin so dry. On top of being dry, unless you're using a scrub on your... Okay, there are pros and cons. I'll get to use to when and when you should not use like shower scrubs in the phase of your shingles or chickenpox affliction. But like rust water in calamine, it basically stays in your skin and causes it to be dry. And the dryness is not the main issue. The main issue here is irritation. Okay, so later on you're going to suffer the benefits from it. Irritation is really, really bad, and there are no benefits in regards to the neuralgia, the nerve pain that you will face. So in terms of medication, when I first had the onset, I had Acyclovir. It's an antiviral drug. When I first had it, it actually minimized the spread to a very great extent. I actually do recommend that anyone who is getting chickenpox or shingles, at the earliest opportunity, like they say, within like 48 hours, go get yourself some Acyclovir, antiviral drug. However, if that is not available to you or you find that it's costly, because I'm not sure what it sells for in your country, but over here in Thailand, it was kind of costly. I had Acyclovir and Gabapentin, but here's the funny part. I'm not sure whether it was my mom or who else. I actually kind of suspect it was my mom. Mistook the pack of Gabapentin for like an empty strip of pills, and she threw it away. I think so. There are better solutions for that, and this actually is very handy as well. How so? All right. So instead of calamine, right, these two are an excellent mix. I have a small. This is actually my wasabi dish, right? So as I take this out, I think my daughter is already she's starting to grimace because of the smell. So what I do is that I put a lid on it, and this prevents it from evaporating too early. Initially, I left it uncovered in the toilet, and it was stinking up the whole toilet, but I also think that reduced the mosquitoes. Notice that there's a sediment. Like in the initial phases, if your shingles is quite severe, if you're getting lesions on your skin, I highly suggest that you mix this into a suspension and then apply. This is more effective than calamine because zeolite has antiviral properties, and this apple cider vinegar also has antiviral properties. I also recommend drinking apple cider vinegar like 1 teaspoon in your water or in your juice. Take that 3 times a day or 4 times a day. Or you can actually just put it into your mug, all right, this is my Stanley's mug. I put it into my iced coffee. I sip it throughout the day. And if you guys notice my YouTube shorts, I've never stopped working out. I kept up with it, and some people are wondering, how do you even work out through shingles? Well, it is... video. So I was saying that how did I work out through the whole shingles? Was basically when I went out, I always brought this with me. I have like a whole bunch of ice cubes inside. And obviously because it's a vacuum flask, it keeps the coldness very well. And if I do feel skin irritations, because there's apple cider vinegar in it, I pour it out and I basically rub it on the spot. What I also found to be very effective is that because the body is trying to get rid of the virus, so in doing so, the body will push it out to the outer areas, from the nerves out to the skin. And when I also noticed that in one period of time when I was working out, when I did not have this readily available with me before I discovered this, I used to wash out the areas, and surprise, surprise, those red spots on the skin, I actually still have some because I tried Arginine like 2 days ago, and it caused a bit of a flare-up. So within like 3 to 4 hours, these spots from red, fresh spots, they became like darkened out, and by the next morning they were dry, completely dry. So I found out that this to be a very, very good remedy. Also, because if you're on my channel, you know I talk a lot about manifestation, and like it actually builds a faith that I know that the next day I'm going to be significantly better. It's like new day, fresh slate. There's a statement every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better, and in the morning the world is made new for me. So this is, tying back into manifestation content channel. This has really been very reinforcing to my personal belief about our restorative ability and the importance of sleep as well. This is a short digress over there. As your condition improves, which it will, on a daily basis, as long as you don't drink, have enough sleep. And if you feel that you are sleepy, or you feel that you want to sleep earlier, then do so, because a body that is strong and getting enough rest will be able to combat the virus very well. And you're feeling tired because your body is actually producing an immune response to cope with the virus. And basically, give yourself enough sleep, 8 hours, 7 hours, 7.5, or like 7 hours and plus a nap in a day. It's a huge help. It will improve your condition really fast, and on top of that, you look younger as well. So I think it was a blessing in disguise for me. My co-workers, they knew that I had this condition, so they didn't bother me with night duties, as in I used to have to work across different time zones, such as the Latin American time zone as well, for my procurement work that I do. They actually didn't bother me so much due to this condition. And on top of that, I had more sleep. And the net result of more sleep, less alcohol, was fitter, younger appearance and way better health. So I'm very thankful that I actually had this, because I think God was trying to tell me something as well. There are times when I choose to mix or not to mix this solution. For example, if it's for new patches, I will mix it and apply it. I can make use of the drying effects of zeolite. If you watch Dr. Stone, the anime, this is zeolite has very strong drying powers in addition to antibacterial properties. This has antiviral properties too. So taken within and applied on the outside, it's a very, very strong 1-2 punch that helps you to cope with this condition. How could I possibly forget? The stinging feeling of this mixture hitting your skin. This is way more effective than Gabapentin and any neurotransmitter medicine, because firstly, it's natural. Secondly, the pain does not recur. It can be very intense and shooting pain in the beginning when you do it, but it doesn't come back. So I strongly recommend this over drug dependence. As the condition gets better, in order not to have the dryness and irritability issue on the skin, you will also notice that you will get goosebumps on your skin, and that will cause you to want to scratch more. To avoid having that kind of condition, this comes to be very effective when I do not mix it so much. So as it's improving, I mix it less. I just take the top layer, which is apple cider vinegar, equal part of water along with the apple cider vinegar as well. On the recovery phase, when you are getting itches, but you realize that the itches are due to this goosebumps effect is really strange, because when your body's having this, it causes a lot of nerve issues. That's why the neuralgia, that's a nerve issue as well. Goosebumps to come out even when it's not cold. And then goosebumps, the more you scratch it, the more irritable the skin gets. So in order not to have a flare-up or a recurrence or spreading of the virus through your fingernails, which actually I have not found any contagion issue within the house. What is good is aloe vera, and I use an aloe vera that is mixed with snail essence. Okay. One final tip that I just found out a few days ago. I got my most recent flare-up due to arginine supplement, and through that I also found out that the arginine that I ordered from a website, I thought it was too cheap at first to be true, but I realized that it was actually really potent arginine, because it could cause such a flare-up. Otherwise it wouldn't, right? So arginine helps the virus to grow and spread and reproduce. So you don't want that. Arginine is in eggs as well, but eggs contain also a high amount of lysine. So you need to keep a good ratio of lysine to arginine. Lysine can be found in a whole bunch of vegetables and also a whole bunch of meat. Although some of the meats that you come across may also contain arginine, but you want to keep, as long as you're in a good balance of lysine to arginine, that's good. I also highly recommend that you go out and buy some lysine supplements. So actually, it was also a godsend that my mate wrote out on the shopping list a few days ago that I needed to buy this lysine snack for my cats. When I think about it, they've been actually taking lysine for good skin, to reduce skin irritation. So why not you? Why not us? So this is a very, very important tip. And as I got better, I actually had a total of 3 or 4 flare-ups in total. So I could have recovered way earlier. But then again, a lot of the other things, due to my active lifestyle and also me trying to push the bucket, trying to experiment stuff, caused it to stay on longer than it was supposed to. Now I've got quite a good understanding of how to deal with this, and therefore I feel that it's good for me to share this with you as well to make your condition better. So get onto lysine as early as you can. It can help to suppress the condition a lot better, and especially those of you who are very fit and active, it can help get you back on a good protein consumption as well. If you are concerned that some of the foods that you have, I mean, in the initial phase, I did in the first like maybe the 3 weeks in or something, I actually had to cut down my eggs intake. I used to take a lot of eggs on a daily basis for my physique and fitness recovery, because I don't do protein powders and stuff. But then if you are on protein powders, there's a good chance that protein powder also has lysine, because it also is an amino acid as well. Oh yeah, so I want to share with you that towards recovery, there was this one day where there was this my favorite ramen joint that I go to, and they have a free flow of eggs. Parents and my son were like, "Are you sure you're gonna have that many eggs?" I was like, "Well, it'll be a waste if I go here and I not take advantage of the free flow of eggs that they have." So that's exactly what I did, and nothing happened. So as you get to a good stage in your recovery, you can actually get back onto eggs quite well as well. But otherwise, with lysine, it shouldn't be an issue. But arginine is something that you really gotta be careful about. So like as of yet, I have not been successfully able to get back onto arginine supplementation. One last tip, cold. It has never affected my face. Face ice baths almost every day. This is like a habit for me, and unfortunately I did not have like the access to doing a full body like ice bath. But if you do, you might want to consider that, because it has never gotten to my face. It's gotten to a lot of people's faces that I see on the internet, but never to mine. So I think definitely cold is definitely a good thing, because as I've shown to you, I usually like pour out and apply even during my workouts, and that basically stops it from spreading. So that's all I want to share with you in this video. I hope you found some valuable tips, and if this helps, do leave some comments and share this with your friends as well, because you never know when someone could be having a recurrence of this. And if you have the access to getting a Shingles vaccine, that would be good as well. But unfortunately, by the time I found I had this, it's too late. So thanks everyone for watching, and be well. Thank you.